Hello everyone. I am Dr. Lalit Mittal. I want to start with a question that almost every parent who comes to my clinic asks. Beta kab bolega? He is 4 years old. She is 5. The other children in the neighborhood are speaking in full sentences. Why is my child silent? This is one of the most painful questions a parent can carry. And today, I am going to give you a perspective to ponder upon. Not just the speech and language side, but the part most of us usually miss, the biological side. Because for many of our children, the reason they are not talking is not just in the brain, it is in the body. Let me begin with what we know about language development. Talking is not a simple skill. It requires the brain to simultaneously process incoming sound, match it to meaning, form a motor plan for the mouth and tongue, coordinate breathing, and produce a sound at exactly the right moment. All of this in a fraction of a second. For a neurotypical child, the brain does all of this automatically by around age 2. For a neurodiverse child, one or more of these steps may be developing more slowly. And when any one step is disrupted, the whole chain breaks down. The most common pattern I see in my clinic is this. The child understands far more than they can express. The receptive language, understanding, is developing. The expressive language, speaking, is lagging behind. This gap is not permanent. It is a developmental lag and it can be addressed. But it requires the right approach.
Now, let me tell you the part most parents have never heard, the gut-brain connection. Research has consistently shown that there is a direct communication pathway between the gut and the brain. Scientists call it the gut-brain axis. And in children with autism, this pathway is often severely disrupted. When the gut microbiome is out of balance, it produces chemicals that travel directly to the brain and affect how the brain functions. We see this in children who have chronic constipation, loose stools, food intolerances, or children who will only eat a very small range of foods. These are not separate problems, they are connected. I have seen children who had almost no language at age 3 make significant communication breakthroughs after we addressed gut health and specific nutritional deficiencies. The speech therapy was the same, but once the biological load was reduced, the brain had the capacity to do what the therapy was teaching. Focusing on the biological foundation makes all the difference.
Now let me tell you 4 other biological factors I always assess when a child is not talking. Iron and ferritin levels. Iron deficiency is extremely common in Indian children, particularly selective eaters. Iron is essential for dopamine production, and dopamine is essential for the motivation to communicate. A child with low iron has low drive to initiate. They may understand everything, but simply lack the internal push to try. Vitamin D. India has the highest rates of vitamin D deficiency in the world. This surprises people, but it is true. We are indoors more than we realize. Vitamin D is involved in the development of social and communication pathways in the brain. Deficiency in early childhood directly affects language development. Next is thyroid function. An underactive thyroid is a commonly missed factor in children with delayed speech. Thyroid hormones regulate the rate at which the brain develops. Even a borderline low thyroid can significantly slow language development. A simple blood test checks this. Chronic inflammation. Children who have frequent ear infections, tonsil issues, or who are on repeated courses of antibiotics often have a state of low-grade chronic inflammation that affects brain function and language processing. I am telling you all of this because I want you to understand. When your child is not talking, the answer is rarely just do more speech therapy. The answer requires looking at the whole child. The brain, the gut, the blood, the nutrition, the sensory system.
What can you do at home right now? Keep a food and behavior diary for 1 week. Write down everything your child eats, their digestion, and their sleep. And the days when communication and behavior is better or worse, Bring this to your doctor. It reveals patterns that change the entire assessment. Make sure your child is getting direct sunlight outside, not through a window, for at least 30 minutes a day. Morning or evening when the sun is not too harsh. This is the best way to support vitamin D without supplementation. If your child is a very selective eater, please discuss iron and ferritin testing with your pediatrician at the next visit. Do not wait for them to look pale. Deficiency shows in blood work long before visible symptoms. Before I close, I want to say something to every parent who has been told, boys में लेट होता है कुछ नहीं होगा और कोई बात नहीं अपने आप बोलने लगेगा. Early intervention is the single most important factor in language outcomes. The window between 18 months and 5 years is when the brain is most plastic, most capable of building new pathways quickly. Every month of waiting is a month of that window closing. If your gut tells you something is different about your child's communication development, trust that instinct. Get a professional assessment. Do not wait. If this video helped you, please share it with the parent who is still waiting. One share from you reaches a family that needs this today. See you later and have a nice day.